What's going on, everyone? This is Spilling Tea with Chris G, and tonight I'm going to recap the first episode of the reunion for Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit you guys with my top five on the second episode of the reunion. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and spill the tea for you during the episode and, just kind of catch you guys up. So let's go ahead and get started. So for my first highlight, Phaedra versus Kandi. So Kandi and Phaedra, they did get into it on the show because it started from talking about Phaedra's divorce, which I will speak on a little bit later, but it started from there, and then Phaedra was saying how she felt that Mama Joyce going to the attorney to ask about her divorce and her matters was deplorable. Kandi did admit that Mama Joyce was wrong for doing that to Phaedra, but Phaedra kind of got into it with Kandi as far as Phaedra was saying, your mother's services would be better suited at the restaurant that you guys do not have open, which now we know that the OLG restaurant is open. Actually, in fact, Sky from Black Ink Atlanta now. She was seen there with Aunt Bertha. So, we know that the restaurant is open. Kandi was there. It's been all over Instagram. And Kandi was accusing Phaedra of calling people down at the city and causing issues for them to open up the restaurant. So I don't know about that friendship either. I think that friendship is just done sailed and is done because they done accused each other so much. Kandi last season did say that she thought that Phaedra called the feds on her and Todd for holding Apollo stuff. And you know what? I kind of believe that. And all the ladies, well, not all the ladies, but some of the ladies feel like Phaedra, Kenya, of course, is vindictive, and that is what she does. So that was interesting. On to my second highlight. Now for the divorce part, Phaedra was explaining that she is divorced. She had brought her divorce decree actually to the reunion to show Andy because he is vested in her family. She did say that Portia admitted it, she let the cat out of the bag by telling the ladies that she was divorced. Kenya, however, argued the fact that Phaedra was divorced by saying that Apollo is still fighting the divorce because he wants what's rightfully his. Phaedra did state that she did give Apollo $100,000 and she doesn't know why he keeps holding on to it because he's supposed to be engaged to Sheree. Now, Sheree is the girlfriend, she came on to this season and she was trying to support Apollo at the OLG, coming in his place. Well, Sheree had took to Instagram to support her man by saying that he's been portrayed negatively, but she still loves him and she cannot wait until he gets out. And Apollo is still fighting it. He's still going through the courts. Apparently, because Phaedra had changed the names on the court documents and he wasn't served properly, that is why the judge had threw the paperwork out. And a lot of people feel like Kenya is still talking to Apollo, and maybe she still is talking to Apollo. She did always like him. On to my third highlight. Speaking of relationships, in this episode as well, they also talked about Kenya and Matt. And a question had came in, which I was also wondering as well. Why would you tolerate the violence and stuff from Matt, but you were scared to go on a trip with Portia? And Kenya basically said, because I had left for Matt and me and Portia were never friends, so why would I even take that from her? Kenya, of course, has been pushing Portia. She does instigate with Portia. Kenya also had an issue with Sheree's comment by stating that, Kenya instigates these things that happens to her while she's with Matt, and that's why he does what he does. Sheree was saying that that's not how she said it, even though it came out that way, but that's not what she was trying to say. I think Sheree was just trying to say Kenya is messy. And that's why these sort of things happen to you. But at the end of the day, no woman deserves to have windows busted out, their car window busted out. Even though she did have a weak moment, and she did admit she had a weak moment for Matt, but she really does love Matt. But side note, did not know that Matt Jordan was in Cynthia's cargo backpack, the little backpack and bag line. I didn't know that he was at the fashion show walking in her fashion show. And actually, Matt took to Instagram to thank Cynthia to help kickstart his modeling career. So that's kind of interesting. Kenya has said that she has not spoken to Matt since. Matt, of course, has been on Instagram berating her and going in on her, but Matt has been quite quiet lately on the gram. So, hope, I don't know if he'll be on this upcoming reunion. They're keeping that kind of mum. On to my fourth highlight. What I thought was really sweet was Andy had showcased the children of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Kandi's children, Sheree's children, Cynthia's child, Noel, Phaedra's sons. And I just thought that that was really cool of him to do that, of how they've grown on the season. And they were saying that Noel is always reading Cynthia, which she is. Then Cynthia was saying that maybe she hangs out too much with Kenya. So Kenya said, yeah, go ahead and blame it on me. But it was really sweet to see them from when they were little up until now. Basically, most of the kids have grown up on this show. So I think it's kind of dope. And hopefully the same cast members, stick on the show, because it would be very interesting to see the kids keep growing. Of course, Riley, she had released her song, about her dad, went onto iTunes. Nicki Minaj had made a comment about her song. And Kandi also had told us that she is working with Escape. They're trying to get a movie out. They're trying to go on tour. They're trying to get a new record. And so a fan was asking, is Kandi pushing Riley to do music because she didn't seem that excited? But like Kandi said, I don't even have time to even push anybody. She really wanted to do it, and that's what she did. So good for her and Riley. On to my fifth highlight. Sheree and Bob. So at the end of the episode, Andy kind of asked, about what's going on between her and Bob. In this season, we did see Bob. He had made some comments about how, if the seatbelt wasn't, he thought about taking the seatbelt off Sheree while they were in the car and slamming on the brakes. Sheree was saying that there was abuse and she didn't tell anyone. She did start crying, and it's kind of unusual to see Sheree in that type of vulnerable stage, because Sheree is usually so strong and she woman, power woman. And she was saying that she hid it from her friends and family. She hasn't told her kids yet. She didn't tell her mom, but once it came out, now her mom has probably seen it. I'm sure her kids probably have seen it as well, so she's going to have to say something. But she wanted to protect Bob, and usually for a lot of women, because they're athletes, that's what they try to do, is protect them, because they are the breadwinners. They are the ones that have the career. And so a lot of times abuse does go unreported in certain situations. And so, Bob, I can admit, Bob did do them dirty. I mean, Bob took off. He left them. He left them in the house. She had to move out. She lived in a condo, with her kids. And he did do them dirty. I mean, the furniture thing when they went to court, and the child support issue, he basically did abandon them. And I felt that from Sheree. Like, that was really, really sad. She was also saying that, comments that he would say, like, the only reason why I didn't wish for the plane to go down was because your mom was on it. I mean, just things like that. And she said that they did get into a few physical altercations. So, hopefully, Sheree, she speaks with her kids. She did say that she felt like Bob forgot where he was when he was making those comments. Now, next episode, the third one, Shamia's going to be on there, and she's going to be exposing Phaedra. She was saying that Phaedra was trying to get with her husband, and then she was asking Shamia to hook her up with some Africans. And I'm just like, y'all really about them Africans down there in Atlanta, child? I mean, maybe I need to go down there and get me a rich African. Sure, what's happening? So I cannot wait for next week's reunion. Hopefully we can see what this whole drugging thing is about. That Kandi was, that Portia was accusing Kandi of drugging her and trying to basically date rape her. So, can't wait for that. And that, of course, is an allegation. We don't know if that's true or not. But the way Kandi was looking, it looked like she was looking directly at Phaedra. Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, that is it for you guys. Please make sure you subscribe. I will be back next week.